Dive into summer with Vizcaya swimwear. Stylish, comfortable, unforgettable. Make a splash with Vizcaya swimwear. Discover your beauty with Lady Code Cosmetics. Bold colors, flawless finishes. Unleash your confidence with Lady Code. Hello and welcome back to Misrepresented. I'm your host, Lisa Opie, and before we get into today's episode, I do want to thank Pink Apple Dresses for dressing me and my guest today, and also True Beauty Glam for doing my makeup, which is iconic if you're watching the video stream. So today I'm really excited because our guest this week is Valentina Rodriguez Zapata. Welcome, Queen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, you've had a busy day. You drove in from Orlando.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And you're getting ready to do Miss Florida USA.
I am.
How's the prep going?
You know, it's my second year. Last year, I felt like a baby deer in high heels, honestly.
Love that.
I've been competing for a couple of years now, but the USA system's so different. So this year I have a really clear vision. I have a new team.
Ooh.
We'd had a total rebrand since last year.
Okay. So last year was like your first time doing USA, is that right?
Yes.
What opened your eyes? What shocked you?
What shocked me? I think the variety of people.
Yeah.
Honestly.
How many girls were in your division?
I think it was like 56. It wasn't like that big of a number.
Yeah.
But it was the first year that moms and married women could compete.
Oh, okay.
So it was really great though.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I had some really, really fun girls around me. One of them, actually, I was contestant number 96, contestant number 97. Ended up working with my coach.
Wow.
Right after I saw her a week after. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here?
Okay, she's poaching.
It's cool though. I was like, all the love. And
Yeah.
I ended up following a lot of these girls and we ended up becoming really, really great friends. And
I love that.
it was so nice. It was, I felt a little intimidated at first. Who doesn't, you know? But once you get comfortable with the uncomfortable, it was really thrilling. And
I love that.
I loved it. Can't wait to come back.
Even was it a week ago with the masterclass with Noelia here?
It was.
Yeah, and I could tell that you already had these relationships with everybody here taking the class. I was like, oh, you all know each other. I don't have to introduce anyone. You knew Delaney,
my
you
girl
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a reunion for Florida USA.
It was really fun. And this weekend, now that we were at the Orlando seminar, I saw some girls from last year and some girls from the South Florida seminar that we did.
And probably new friends too.
Oh, absolutely. So. Yeah. Everyone followed each other that weekend.
Love that. And you know what I love is that you are based in South Florida, because it's hard to find Florida USA girls based in South Florida, especially Miami. I feel like they don't do pageants here.
No, they don't. They're all in Orlando, Jacksonville.
Exactly.
And one of my girlies.
So I'm really excited to dive into one of your talking points today, which is body positivity and how toxic it is growing up in Miami, because I've been here the last 10 years and it is literally very toxic. It's a really hard place to live in. So let's dive into that.
Okay, so context, I was born with 3 pre-existing conditions. One of them is PCOS, which affects 30% of women, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And by proxy, you get some women develop insulin resistance. So it's when your body doesn't recognize sugar. So instead of filtering it out naturally, it's stored as fat. So that was fun. So I could eat a whole salad and nothing happens. I could eat a whole cake to myself and my blood sugar wouldn't get high. I didn't know what a sugar rush was. It was wild. Gosh. And the third one is lipedema, which now it's 11% of women in the world are diagnosed with it, are affected by it. I think the number's higher though. But there's only real research in it in Spain and Germany, 40 plus years. It was finally recognized in the US as an illness about 12 years ago or so. So there's still a lot of research being done. It's hereditary within women. So I'm phase 1. My mom is phase 3. She just had 11 procedures in the last year.
What is lipedema?
Lipedema, it's fluid mixed in with your fat, and it could actually get in the way of your venous flow and your adrenal system. So I have little nodules. They feel like little rice grains in my legs and on my back. And it could actually really affect your mobility. And if you run, it actually worsens your condition. You'll get immediate results. You lose the weight, but later it's going to come back with a vengeance.
Wow.
And the joke is you're swollen, not fat. But it was really difficult to lead any sort of lifestyle with it because any major hormonal change like puberty, pregnancy, childbirth, menopause, it worsens your condition.
Oh my gosh.
And so many people go undiagnosed
Wow.
forever.
So they say 11%, but I'm sure there's so many more that have
That
no
number's
idea
so much
what's
higher.
going on with their bodies. So what are some symptoms? Like, what led you to realize that you had lipedema?
Honestly, I got so lucky that my mom got diagnosed, but with us, we've always, we're Cuban, so we always thought, we just have big thighs, but we noticed it was like the cellulite was burning. Cellulite is not supposed to burn.
Whoa.
And my mom couldn't stand for more than 15 to 20 minutes until she like needed to sit, and then she was like winded.
Oh my gosh.
And for example, herself and I, we don't have a big appetite. I don't think we have more than like 1,500 calories a day, honestly.
Wow.
And my mom was at a peak 250. She's 5'3".
Oh my gosh.
And at some point I was at a peak 200, undiagnosed. So that really affects someone. And I was working out 3 hours a day and working
you're doing
retail
everything right.
in New
I'm
York.
sure you're eating healthy.
Oh my goodness.
Like
there was nothing wrong with me. And then doctors like, diet and exercise. And I was like, girl, I am 1 calorie restriction away from having an eating disorder. This is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So those were some things. I noticed hyperflexibility is actually a symptom, which is so funny to me.
Oh my gosh. Are you hyperflexible?
I'm so hyperflexible.
Okay.
Like I do like these shoots sometimes and they're like, how does your neck do that? I'm like, I don't
gosh.
know. Like,
like you're like a yoga queen.
I'm sick. But also a lot of I bruise very easily.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm in heels for too long, I get really swollen at my ankles and like my knees. So I have like this like spacesuit looking thing that's an air compression pump, and it just does like manual lymphatic drainage on me to help maintain the swelling, the fluid retention. But growing up, when you don't know what's going on, you're just the heavyset kid, right? And you're super chubby, and I'm Cuban Colombian. And on the Colombian side, the stereotype could be very true sometimes. So a lot of my relatives, they're beautiful, they're stunning, they're one of the most empowered women, but everyone has something done, and everyone's always getting the lipo and the boobs and the nose. So by the time I'm 16, they're like, so what do you want to get done?
Wow.
And it was really hard because, I'm being told my entire life, you're beautiful. My mom was very, very empowering. My grandmother was really on my side, and they're like, you're beautiful, you're stunning, you're a firecracker, like keep going. But hearing it was really hard. And growing up in Miami, dating boys,
oh my gosh. I mean, even just like going to Publix, like when the cashier is like a 10 with a BBL, you're just like, okay, like I can't live here.
I remember being like 11 years old, and we have this festival here called Cuba Nostalgia, which is like nostalgic Cuba. And it's like a festival and like just Cuban culture. And I had a lady, we were in line for some raffle thing. And the lady looks at me, looks at my grandfather. She's like, is she yours? And he's like, my granddaughter. And she's like, she's very fat. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. So that was really hard. And at some point, my mom had a really big weight loss journey. I was about 20 at this point, and I was in school in New York, and she lost about 100 pounds.
How'd?
Oh my God. It was not attainable. The moment she stopped, it all came back really, really fast. She was working out 6 days a week, 3 hours a day.
Oh my gosh.
She was running like 5 miles a day and doing, she was doing boot camps and HIIT and stuff. Like she was really, really pushing herself. The minute she toned it down to 4 times a week for 2 hours a day, she gained 10 pounds in a week. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. But when she lost all the weight, I remember one of my relatives told me, yeah, you need to really catch up to your mom. Like she's getting prettier than you. You need to start losing weight.
Wow.
It's so hard. And I know it comes from a place of love, but it was really hard.
Was this after you knew that you had lipedema?
No, this was all pre-diagnosis.
Okay.
And I had adopted really unhealthy habits because of it. A lot of self-loathing because of it. And really upset with myself. I had, boyfriends in high school telling me, you're too heavy for me now. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I was like a size 4 when this was told at like 15. And then later on, I had like a boyfriend in college thinking that he was being so politically correct. You're getting rounder in the abdominal region. And I was like, dude, stop it. And then his mom to tell me, if you don't watch out what you're eating, you're going to look like a fridge any minute now. It was really hard.
I'm so sorry.
I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
I've grown from it. I miss Winwood. We're fine. Like, I'm thriving.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm fine
She's
now.
on the Miss Florida USA stage
yes,
for the second
we're
time.
fine. We're good. Like, I'm fine now. I feel so good.
Yeah, walk me through the diagnosis. I read that, like, you did a lot of research on Google. And, that's, like, one thing is, like, doctors always, like, stay off Google, stay off IBM. Right. But I'm like, I find the real answers here. Like, I'm a better doctor than you because I'm on Google.
Oh, no. My ongoing joke is I have a PhD from Google University.
Like, I saw that. I love it.
It is wild. So it was crazy because I kept going to a bunch of specialists and I was like, I think something's wrong. They're looking at my weight. they're seeing, you know, this peak 4'11", 200-pound size 16 girl, and they're like, diet and exercise, like, you're clearly not doing enough. And as you just saw my regimen, that was insane. So I kept just digging and digging. I was looking at my symptoms. I had a severe cough for a year and a half.
Wow.
And I was getting sinus infections every 6 weeks. So I'm like, something's off here. I had to like go see an ENT. They're like, you have a silent reflux. So like the acid wasn't going down to my stomach. The lining was so accumulated with fat that it like just shoot up to my throat, and it like just irritate me all the time.
Oh my
It was so wild. I had a snore, like the worst snore that I would wake myself up. And
Wow.
I was never a snorer. But I think the thing that really got me the most, and I literally called my mom sobbing, was I woke up one day, and I've always had very smooth skin. I've always had a great texture on my skin. And I woke up one morning and I counted it. 58 stretch marks all over my stomach, bright red. They were brand new scar tissue, like from one day to the next, overnight. And I called my mom. I'm like, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is going on. And my mom was like, she's a very, very attentive mom. I love her with all my heart. She's like, she started crying. She's like, I don't know, like, what is happening to my baby?
Oh my gosh.
It was so hard. And I just kept gaining weight, and we couldn't figure out why. And so I just kept Googling, and I noticed I had this stain on the back of my neck and some discoloration on my knuckles. And I was looking it up, and they're like, that's sugar trapped in your skin. So I was like, why does sugar get trapped in your skin? And I saw insulin resistance, and I'm like, how does insulin resistance happen? PCOS. I know that my mom had a lot of issues with her fertility while I was growing up, and I know she almost lost me because of symptoms of PCOS, but never formally diagnosed. So I was looking it up, and I was meeting like 9 out of 10 symptoms. Wow. So I came in to all these doctors' offices with just like packets and printouts, like so thick.
You're like, let me educate you.
I'm like, you guys. And at some point I thought it was Cushing's disease, which is like a pituitary disease, and like your adrenals. And I was like, do I need brain surgery? I don't know. My head was going everywhere.
Wow.
And finally I was kind of like, I don't know what to do. At this point, I was getting worse. I had no energy. I was depressed. And what was life? And I just felt myself getting sicker and sicker, that the conversation of, am I going to live till 30 came up. And at this point I was like 21, 22.
Wow.
So it was really hard. And even my mom was like, you're not getting better. What's going on? Like we all were convinced, like, my health was just declining so fast. We're like, what's going to happen like a few months from now?
Oh my gosh.
So finally I found this adrenal specialist. She was an endocrinologist that specializes in adrenals, Dr. Olga Leonardi. I still see her on Zoom. She is the love of my life. She's all the way up in New York, because I was also in New York when I finally got diagnosed. Okay. I was in school for fashion design.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I showed her everything. I brought my entire list. I showed her all the doctor's visits I went to. She was my 15th doctor.
Oh my gosh.
In like a year and a half. Yeah.
And was she the one that finally cracked the code and figured it out?
That woman.
She saved your life.
That woman. The average doctor was taking like 3-4 tubes of blood. This woman in 24 hours took out 10 tubes. Like the initial ones.
Ouch. I just got dizzy thinking about it.
It was, and I have such a fear of needles. I was dying. I was saying every word under the sun. I was like, doctor, she's like, you want to know or not? I was like, yes. She's like, all right, then suck it up.
10 tubes.
10 tubes, 5 tubes the first day. Then she gave me some pill. It was like some stress-inducing pill. And to take blood work out the next day with the stressor, like some sort of, I don't know, not placebo, but something that was supposed to offset my levels or mask them. And if something didn't change through it, then that's like your pinpoint. And I had to do a cortisol test like 3 nights in a row, which it's like you put a sponge in your mouth and you keep it in the fridge and you just like drop it off at the lab.
Okay.
It was like, that was the least of my worries. And there it showed I had an overproduction of testosterone. My progesterone was like floor level. And my mom, when she was pregnant with me, had like no progesterone. Like it was like a whole thing. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. But the testosterone, like, whoa. And so they put me finally birth control and metformin, which is actually a diabetic medication. But they found for women with insulin resistance, it actually helps your body recognize the sugar and then filter it out.
Wow.
It took me about 6 months to like really get used to it. But in those 6 months, I lost 60 pounds.
Wow.
And I was like exercising less, and I was actually eating a little bit more junk than I should have, but I was eating more. I was allowing myself to enjoy food for once.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, because that was my thing. That was my qualm. If I was going to be heavy, it was because I was enjoying my life. I was enjoying food to the fullest, and I wasn't restricting myself. I didn't mind it. I'm like, if I'm going to have this lifestyle, if I'm going to look this way, it's because I've earned it. Like, that was like where I was at. I don't know if that sounds wrong, but
no,
that was me.
Yeah.
So I was eating more. I was kind of enjoying and indulging a little bit more, and I was losing weight. So I don't know. To me, I was like, it wasn't me. That was the only thought I had. And I lost like 60 pounds. Then I had a tummy tuck in 2021. During the pandemic, I was getting quotes and everything. During this whole time, I was actually competing in pageants. I started in 2020.
Wow.
Because my whole thought was, all right, I've lost 60 pounds.
And I think it's really good motivation to like keep going. Yeah.
And it was a proclamation of self-love at the same time too.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that you're like winning by doing that and empowering yourself.
Absolutely. I'm with it. I was healing my inner child at the same time. I did pageants like when I was little.
Okay.
And I always felt like, oh, I didn't like because I was too big. I was too round. I was watching like Miss USA on the TV. I remember being 11 years old and looking at all these women, how beautiful they are. And I was like, I'm never going to be on a stage like that.
Yeah.
And now we're fighting to be on a stage like that.
Yeah, when you are.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it. But it was so funny. Well, funny now. But I got into pageants during COVID because a girl was feeling lost. Let's be real. And I love the sense of motivation it gave me as a kid. And I thought it was a really good moment to really accept and love myself, feel empowered, feel beautiful. And while competing, I got my tummy tuck like a year into it. And that was amazing. That was life-changing. That gave me a sense of confidence, honestly. And
I think one thing I want to talk about is like being pro plastic surgery. Because I feel like it's so taboo, especially when I was growing up like 10 years ago, you know, it was like, oh, don't get lip filler. That's so bad for you. But I've obviously had stuff done and I'm like happier that way. Like I'm so glad that I fixed those things. So like since you've also experienced aesthetic enhancements, like how do you feel?
I feel so good. Honestly, I lost 60 pounds. My stomach was not looking the best. It was down to my thighs. Okay. I didn't have a quality of life. I couldn't wear certain things because I was so self-conscious of it. And why would I do myself that disservice? In that way? Like, why would I limit myself? I was 24 at the time. 24. And I just thought, I have such a long life to live and I'm going to feel this way. And I remember my aunts, well, no, a lot of my aunts also have had plastic surgeries and a lot of them have actually lost a lot of weight and have had similar surgeries as mine. So they were very pro, like, do it. But I had a couple of relatives that were like, so you're never going to have kids? I was like, wait, what?
That has nothing to do with that.
Nothing. But their thoughts was, since it's a tummy tuck typically.
Mom, it's harder.
And I was like, no, girl, like, I'll just go get a retouch when I'm done having my kids. It's fine. That I don't mind. Like, if I have these stretch marks and, like, my skin's acting this way because I carried my children, that's a different
wear
thing.
it with, like, honor.
Yeah. And I'll, trust me, I'll go get it redone. It's fine.
Oh, my God.
But my thoughts were, this was such a dark time. And this was, like, when I had no control. I didn't have any autonomy of myself. So I was like, I'm going to reclaim my time. I'm going to reclaim my body. So
wow. So we have like so much to cover and I'm really excited to get into like Parsons and like Florida USA, but like really quickly, like one more question.
Of course.
How did you deal with your mental health? Because I know that it took a toll when you were going through everything. Like what is some advice? Because it's such a hot topic right now.
Absolutely. So I'm going to get really real. I used to hit myself and like punch myself in the stomach, like out of straight up disgust. I'd be in the mirror and like just, I was so harmful to myself. I was just so mean. And I had to go to therapy, like, because life, I still see my therapist every Friday at 10 a.m. She's my girl. And I've also had to do a lot of introspective work on myself. And I do Reiki now. I'm a level 5 healer.
Wow.
So I've had to get into the spiritual side of it. I've had to read up facts galore of what I have and what I went through to, you know, understand that this was not my fault. And I think that was actually really healing, just researching and reading up on everything. I was like, this wasn't me. This wasn't me. And I think coming up with a game plan of how am I going to prevent this? How can I bring awareness?
Yeah, and look at you now, like
I'm
even like
feeling so
talking about
great.
it today, like this is
Yeah.
your testimony, you know,
Oh,
like you went
yeah.
through this for a reason, and now there's people
Absolutely.
looking up to you that are
Yeah.
inspired by your story.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
Yeah. I've had a lot of girls come up to me and be like, how, what, like, what, I think I have this. And I'm like, here, this is the path, I feel like, so you don't have a maze like I did.
Wow.
And it was really nice.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
But you're even more amazing because you went to Parsons, which is
I
crazy.
did.
Congratulations in
Thank
fashion
you.
design. So tell me all about that.
Parsons was crazy. I actually went to the design and architecture senior high in the design district here in Miami.
Wow.
Yes, it was really fun. Student body of 500 kids, very small, very intimate. And I was in the fashion program there, and I applied for like 13 schools. Wow. I had one school tell me, please don't even apply here. You're too bubbly for campus.
Okay.
I was like, okay, save me the essay. I was actually supposed to go to University of the Arts London. Wow. And financial aid package came in from Parsons though, and I was like, let's go to New York.
Wow.
It was really fun. It was really trying. I was there. I got my bachelor's there in fashion design. I minored in theater because I wanted to get into costume design. But I ended up getting really frustrated while making my thesis because there was like maybe 2 plus-size mannequins in the entire campus in like all 6 buildings. I had like 2 plus-size mannequins. And around my junior year, I did have this like moment of, this was when I was like really, really heavy too. Like I knew like something was up with me because I was really, really heavy, didn't know what was going on. And I remember making this capsule collection and my professor asked me, so what's your inspiration? And I said, myself, 20 pounds thinner. And 10 seconds later, I would look at him like, no, myself now.
I love that.
It was really fun. And it made me realize this was 2017. So size inclusivity wasn't really there yet. There was still a gap in that market.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I need to do this. I need to be a size inclusive brand. And so that's still the dream. That's still what I would love to aim for.
When are you starting? When is it happening?
Let's manifest it. I'm hoping soon. In this economy, we're trying. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Right now I'm in a transitional phase in life, career.
Absolutely.
But
like one thing at a time.
Absolutely.
Let's get that Florida crown.
Yes, girl. Let's go. Let's make those networking options. But it was really fun. And my senior year, I made this whole collection on the second layer of skin that we wear as women to meet like that perfect 10. That's always changing. Yeah. Like we can never catch up. It's exhausting. Yeah. And it was an all latex collection in different shades of skin tones. It was really fun. Ooh. I had to ship them from London. Like they didn't have like flesh colored skin tones like in the middle of New York. It was so funny. My gosh. And it was so funny. You can't sew latex. It has to be fused with liquid latex that has like an ammonia base to it. Oh wow. I was scared of leaving the ventilation room.
That sounds kind of toxic.
I grew a tumor because of it.
A tumor?
Within my bone because I was inhaling so much of it and I didn't want to leave it in the ventilation rooms overnight because sometimes they'd steal projects on campus. So I like had them laying in my bed while I was sleeping. Not the brightest idea. I do not recommend anyone to do it.
Where was the tumor?
It's called a bone island. So it's like a thing of calcium that grows within your bone.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, it's a bone within a bone. Like it's just like there. There's no nerve activity there. There's like no cell activity at all. Like it's just it's an ornament.
You guys, she got a tumor for this project.
It was blood, sweat, and tears for sure.
Yeah, and more.
Yeah.
So tell me about the Linus Corporation.
That was actually one of the deliverables from my thesis at Parsons.
Okay, perfect.
Besides a collection, you're supposed to make, I believe it was like 4 deliverables. Your collection and whatever else. So I decided a t-shirt collection called the Venus collection, and it was like nude drawings, like nude figure drawings that I did, from classes and stuff. We always had live models. And on Photoshop, I would, disfigure their proportions and then I draw what I disfigured, and it was like, accentuating, owning the imperfections kind of. And I made a children's book that I totally forgot about till like a week ago, that I made a children's book.
Wow.
And like, who?
What is it about?
It was about different birds and how they're so different, but they're all beautiful at the same time. It was just like a children's book about just owning your differences, your diversity.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Valentina, like keep all of this going,
I know.
make it a series, make it like a children's show.
I kind of like want to like publish it now. I was like looking at it and I found the files the other day.
You girl.
I thought I lost the files.
You haven't published it yet.
No, I literally forgot that I like made and illustrated this thing.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the last one was a business plan for a nonprofit called the Linus Corporation. And it was supposed to be a program, kind of like DARE, that we had at school, that like they'd come and visit and like give you awareness on like drug and alcohol abuse.
Mm-hmm.
This would be something that would be a curriculum that would come periodically to schools across the country, starting kindergarten to like the 12th grade. And it's about leading a healthy lifestyle, healthy habits and choices, but also embracing your flaws.
Wow.
And every course obviously would have age appropriate conversations. And yeah, hopefully that's what it would, for like when they grow to, that's the goal, that's the dream.
Yeah.
But right now it's a platform, it's my community service platform, and I talk about my story. I sometimes talk about stats, and now I'm actually having people come on lives every other week to talk about their platform, what they're going through. And I've had some.
Do you have an Instagram for that yet?
I do. It's called @the_Lioness_Corp.
Love that.
CORP. Yeah.
That's so perfect. I feel like you're
really
embodying like everything that a Miss Florida USA should be.
Manifest it.
Yes. And you're a 6-time team leader with the American Cancer Society.
Yes. I started when I was 8, which is kind of
insane.
Insane.
What was I doing when I was 8?
No, it was really fun. I've had a couple of family members, I think everyone's been affected by cancer somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my first big death happen when I was about 8 years old. I was really lucky to have 3 great-grandparents be alive when I was born.
Wow.
So my great-grandfather died of colon cancer, and we only had 3 weeks from diagnosis to death. And I think as an 8-year-old, that really hit me. Mm-hmm. And my grandmother's best friend, she was like a board member, and she was kind of like, do you want to do this? And I was like, yes.
Wow.
And 8-year-old me was selling like cookies at a tent in the middle of Miami for Relay for Life that year.
Wow.
And now I've kind of kept it going. I took a break from it, from like school, college, diagnosis and treatment. Hello. Mm-hmm. And, I've had a couple of other deaths. My grandmother passed in 2017, and I actually witnessed her death. Like, I had to call the time. It was very traumatizing. And I just had an uncle that survived cancer.
Wow.
And he's thriving, and a family friend that she just survived leukemia, and now she's developing a hairline for hair regrowth. Yeah.
That's so amazing. You have so many like inspiring family members.
I'm
like,
so
your
blessed.
Story is so inspiring, but you're surrounded by so many like strong and amazing people.
Oh, absolutely.
I love to see that.
Everyone has a solution for everything. Everyone takes their weakness, turns it into their superpower, and failure is not an option. I love them for it. I love it. I feel like that's like the Latina spirit. It so is. It's like that. I'm a child of immigrants. Yeah. Can you tell?
Yeah, seriously. We're a little overachievers, but that's okay.
It's the guilt, but it works. Yeah. It works. I embrace it. I love it, and I'm so grateful for it. But I'm actually hosting my next team now, June 1st, at the Fairchild Tropical Gardens, and I'm so excited.
Is it Relay for Life? Or?
It's Relay for Life, yeah. The best part about this one now, it's not the best part, but kind of lightens my load. I get to fundraise ahead of time instead of like having a tent this year.
Okay.
Which kind of like helps with the stress right now. And it's so pretty because it's like you're walking through the gardens. And
oh my gosh.
I'm really excited. The entire organization is so amazing. I was able to get my family's business into it during breast cancer.
What's your family's business?
We are in hospitality, so we did have bars. We just sold them all.
Wow.
If you're familiar with Shots in Wynwood.
I don't go out. I wouldn't know.
All right. We were the longest running bar in Wynwood.
Wow. And I feel like now is the time to sell. That is a smart move.
Yeah. We sold that one in December. We had one in New Orleans, one in Orlando.
Wow.
It was really fun. So I was able to get all the venues involved, and we had every regional manager and every office of Relay for Life help us out.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. We made a specific shot called the Tata shot, and proceeds for that. And it was pink, and proceeds for it went towards Relay.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was really fun. So it's a project very near and dear to me, but it's very cool.
So I don't know how you balance everything because you're also prepping for Miss Florida USA. So How do you balance all of this?
I don't know.
How's the Florida prep going?
Florida prep is going great. I love writing lists.
Okay.
Like, there's a list of my notes, and then I have to, like, write it down physically. And I have to, like, make a list, and then I have to, like, tell my mom about it so she can keep me accountable.
Oh my gosh. I mean, pageants are a full-time job.
They are. They are.
But you have, like, 6 of them. 6 full-time jobs.
Right. At this point. But at the same time, they all tie together.
That's so true.
So when we'll understand,
it
helps, it balances. And right now, I work with family, so I am blessed right now that they get it. But if something's, you know, very time sensitive, obviously I'll put a halt and we'll make it work. Well, a lot of nights I am a 3 a.m. bedtime kind of girly lately, but
I've been there. Okay. People like ask me like, how do you do it all? And I think the secret is to just have something that all goes hand in hand, because everything I do is in the same little niche. I can knock out like 3 birds in 1 stone. And
absolutely.
That's it. That's the secret, you guys.
Yeah. Half of my work is done on the treads. Can't go wrong.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have like a walking pad?
I have a walking pad, but if I'm at the gym, I have like my iPad propped up on like the screen, and I'm just like there with my pen, and I'll take calls, and everyone just knows. It's really nice.
So what's next for you?
Next up, I'm applying for grad schools right now.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot. And it's not art related. It's going to be business and entrepreneurship. We're opening up a restaurant now in Little Havana since we're done with the bars.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I love Cuban food. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's going to be Mediterranean with a hint of Latin.
Sorry, I just like assumed.
No, you're
Cuban.
good though. But like, we're going to like have beans. If we don't have beans, I'm going to throw hands. Don't you worry. But it's going to be Mediterranean with a hint of Latin for sure. But Little Havana, I don't blame you. Yeah. And it's going to be really fun. But at the same time, I do want to get back into fashion. I think because of pandemic.
I want you to get back into fashion.
I need to.
I just see you doing that. And I feel like everything that you've started, like keep it going.
It's my outlet. You know, through pageants, I do make some of my pieces. I do alter a lot of them.
I feel like it goes hand in hand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But, you know, again, I need to get the space. I need to do that. So hopefully I'll get back into it. That's the goal. Hopefully the next 6 months to a year, and apply for grad schools, get that going, because the end goal now is kind of like, I'm so immersed in hospitality too at this point, and I've gotten so involved lately that I kind of want to make my worlds collide. I want to make them merge together now. How can I curate the experience at this point?
You know what? If Dave Gutman can do it, so can Valentina Rodriguez. Okay.
My girl. Absolutely.
I feel like he does it all, you know.
He does.
We just need like the queen of hospitality in Miami.
Oh, absolutely.
That's you. I want to see a woman in that place.
I would love that. And it's funny because I love Dave Gutman's work. I really I always drag my boyfriend. I'm like, Casadonna has an opening on this Friday. Like, let's
his
go.
story is like very humble, you know, like he started like from nothing. So.
Oh no, he's wonderful. And I just love how every venue he has such a different experience, but he leaves no stone left unturned. Like,
that's so true. Every detail.
Down to the lights.
Yeah, literally.
I just geek out when I go to his venues. I'm so obsessed. It's so great.
Oh my gosh. I love it. So before we wrap everything up, I want to do a quick little of this or that.
Of course.
Pageant edition and social media.
Okay, let's do it.
Everything.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the first one is Reels or TikTok?
Reels.
Okay, everyone's saying Reels today.
They're
What's up
easier.
with that?
I don't know. As someone that's trying to create content now and gain traction, I've just found it a little bit more user-friendly.
Yeah, they have like the templates now. You can just put in the thing.
I mean, I love TikTok, but I doom scroll for sure. I think
Me
Reels
too. You don't know when to stop with TikTok. Yeah. With Reels, you can kind of wrap it up.
Exactly.
Shopping online or in person?
Online.
Okay.
It gives me too much anxiety sometimes. Those dressing rooms, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and a lot of like changing. It's a full body workout to
try
on clothes.
It is. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to be home doing this. You know?
Yeah. It's on your own schedule
convenient.
with nobody like breathing down your neck.
Exactly.
I get it. Hair or makeup?
Makeup. Makeup. I don't know.
Until you take my hair class.
I need to. Part of the PCOS, I actually lost like half of my scalp. I'm really getting hair regrowth. I'll show you the before and afters later. It's been crazy.
Oh my gosh. What do you recommend for hair growth?
The entire brand Mirta de Perales is really great.
How do you spell it?
Mirta, Mirta, and then de, and then Perales, Perales.
I'm going to look that up.
Her biotin collection has saved me. And she has the N oil that I do once a week, and her elasticity conditioner.
I need all of it. I have a chemical cut. So like from being blonde, this is like my real hair.
Yeah.
And the rest is extensions. And I'm always like, you can just buy more hair, you know, just add it later. But like, I'd love to just grow my own one day.
I'm trying. We're on the journey. I do wear my extensions. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah. We're pageant girls.
We're pageant girls.
Platform heels or sandal heels?
Platform heels. I like to just feel 6 feet tall all day.
Same. I'm a short queen, so I need the platform.
And they're kind of comfy. I find them more comfy.
I think so, because the platform kind of lifts you up a little higher, so the angle's not as extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a lot more user-friendly.
I agree. Swimsuit or gown?
Swimsuit.
I love that.
Oh my God. Even before the tuck, that was like my favorite.
I love it. That's where you show your personality. You have more energy.
It was my biggest fear. And then when I got on stage and everyone was yelling for me, I was like, oh my God, I'm good at this. Yeah. And I don't know. I just, my entire demeanor changes.
Oh my God.
It's my Sasha Fierce.
Okay, so Miss Vizcaya Swimwear next, please. Put that on your list.
Girl,
of things.
it is
I know
on my
you're
list.
Like so busy, but
it is. It is.
You would have the time of your life.
It's so on my list. It looks like so much fun. All my friends have done it. They swear by it.
It's like literally amazing.
It's a party.
It's a dream come true if you win.
I need it.
When you win. Crown or sash?
Sash.
Ooh, why?
Well, you wear it more, I feel. It's a lot more versatile.
That's true.
And I don't know, just the whole title of it. And everyone can see exactly what you're repping. Yeah. It just sounds so much better. I love a good shiny hat, though. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I am Sergeant Sparkles, like on the gram. So
I know, I love that.
I do love a shiny
the first one
moment.
That said sash. So I was like, that's interesting. But yeah, it's like, I am
right there. You know exactly who I am. You know exactly what I stand for.
Yep. And you do wear it more for sure.
You do wear it more. So I have people yell at me from across the room, my title, and I'm like, I know you're talking about me. What's
Miss Win-Win.
I love it. Yes, that happened to me this weekend actually at a high school pageant that I was at. Like, Miss Win-Win, we saw you dancing along with us. And I was like, yeah, I got you.
It's such a cool title. Like, Winwood is like where you want to go. That's where you want to be.
And it's where I grew up. It's, you know, my roots, really. So I remember Winwood when it was not Winwood.
Really?
Oh my God.
Like when they just had like that little section with the walls and that was it?
Not even. It was
no
just
walls.
Pure, just, yeah, it was just straight up like street art graffiti and a very big homeless population.
Wow.
And just warehouses galore. And you would not want to roll your windows down there for sure. And you do not hit the brakes. It was really scary. It was really dangerous. But, you know, thankfully these developments really did make that area so beautiful and enriching, and
it's so fun. I love being there. And now Pretty Little Thing is opening their showroom there in Winwood. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God. And like, 260 sample sales there now.
Oh my God.
Which is like, that was my bread and butter in New York. Like, I loved going to a good 260 sample sale event.
It's gonna be like the new shopping district.
It is. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, next question is photo shoot or fashion show?
Photo shoot.
Yeah.
I could have more fun with it.
And it's a controlled environment.
Exactly. And I could kind of like joke around more.
You don't have to worry about falling. You can take pictures.
Yes.
I agree. East Coast or West Coast? I already know the answer. Okay.
I mean, I'm an East Coast girly, but all my friends have moved to Cali now.
Really?
To the West Coast.
Do they love it?
They're obsessed. So I'm like, where's the hype?
I don't know. I'm forever a Miami girl. I do like the West Coast though, but like,
you know, I'm kind of like, when I'm in Miami, I miss New York. When I'm in New York, I miss Miami. So it's like, I can't even make up my mind, but I love a good East Coast moment. Let's be real.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're East Coast.
Yeah.
I decided for you.
It's fine. I'll take it.
Road trip or fly?
Fly. All the way.
Get to the point. We don't have time to drive.
I love a good road trip. I just came from like Chicago to Miami with my boyfriend over
driving.
He bought a car in Chicago.
Wow.
And we like drove it down.
Oh my gosh.
And we did make a pit stop in Nashville, so like we had a cute moment. Yeah. I had my Dolly Parton weekend. I was fine, but it was a lot. And now that I'm old enough to drive, it was cute when I was a kid. I was just a passenger princess.
Yeah. Now you have to drive.
Turns.
Oh no.
I drove through Kentucky. I feel so like grown. I don't know. Fly, girl, fly.
Oh my gosh. Steak or sushi?
Sushi.
Okay, sushi. Queen.
Yeah.
And last one is a like fun open-ended question. So what is an ideal on-stage question that you'd love to be asked, and how would you answer it?
My favorite question I've ever gotten is, what would you do if you lost?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's intense.
It was really intense.
Oh my gosh, pageant directors take notes.
Yeah. What would you do if you lost? And the first thing that comes to my mind is, first, I would congratulate the winner and just understand that that day it was hers and really be genuinely happy for her.
Wow.
And then I'd go ahead, reflect on my performance, take notes, see what I could improve on to, work on and come back the next year stronger than ever. And that's what we're doing right now.
Wow.
And look forward to what I have coming up. I
hope you won that.
At
this
the
was
time,
like a winning answer.
It is. I'm kind of proud of her, but I haven't been asked that in like 3 years, but that really stuck to me. And funny enough, that judge ended up following me on Instagram after that pageant. And I had to DM her being like, I loved that.
Yeah.
At the time, it was 2 weeks before my tummy tuck.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, I have so much to look forward to. I like named all these trips I had pending. I had my surgery. I'm like, I'll be fine.
Wow.
And it's just reassuring. Like the crown, love it. We don't work this hard and, put so much time and effort to it for just to lose. But at the end of the day, it's not the end all be all. There's so much more to look forward to. You'll gain so much more out of it.
Wow. That's iconic.
I love it. I have the best time. Yeah.
So where can we follow your journey to Miss Florida USA and everything else?
Follow me on the gram. I'm trying to really get more engaged on it. I don't post enough, really. I'm trying to.
You post a lot. No, your social media game is solid.
I'm trying. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's Sergeant Sparkle. So SERGEANT_Sparkle. And that's the most.
Yeah.
That's the
and
most
then
consistent.
Miss FL USA.
Yes, please, Miss FL USA. Hopefully, I'll have participation on that one too soon
Love
enough.
That. Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for everything you're doing.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. I'm so honored.